I know that the tradition, especially the incumbents, somehow within the NPP, are usually retained. I mean, so it doesn't entirely surprise us.
But how about, say, yes, the performance of Dr. Bawumia? 61
Well,
in 2023 to 56%.
well, I've been processing that as well, and even though clearly he lost about some 5 or so percentage points, it looks as though actually it doesn't. It is the case that Brian's entry into the fray basically bumped everybody, and so somehow Bawumia got affected. I don't know if it's a grand strategy of the party, but whatever it is, I think he did well. And Ken obviously lost to Brown. So that was clear. But again, I suspect that it could have been an emphatic win if Bawumia had about 70% and over. That would have been telling. But hey, these are different times. And so you don't expect him to get 95%, 90% as Nanado got the last time. But
why don't you expect him to get that?
Well, because the party there are different interests in the party. And you can fault it. And this is a party that went to the last election bruised, right? I mean, the party members, people claim that their members did not vote. I find that argument really absurd. The members got angry because of the poor governance. So you can't tell me that because they chose not to vote. So because of that, in itself is an achievement. It doesn't make sense. So I'm trying to say that people then decided that, look, if you're going with the same horse, well, maybe you might as well sit back because we will prefer other people. So there are different interest groups that emerge at the party. I mean, you had them during the elections. Apart from the personal attacks and the electoral, there were clear cases being made of the currency of my good friend Dr. Bawumia being more like a scion of the old order. But of course, at the end of the day, the party still made a decision. 56 is still it's a decent win, and so they take it like that. I think it behoves on the handlers of Dr. Bawumia and himself, and I know he's a good-natured person, so you do his part. But his handlers and assigns must be seen to be accommodating, because if they are not, that will be the doom of the Bawumia train. Because some of them are too saucy, some of them are so dismissive, some of them are so insulting, and they tell lies, arrogant lies. I hope that there's some sort of cleansing so that the party properly. I mean, they need to take good lessons, communicate. You must be communicating properly. If you are banking their hopes, and I think there's another strategy I think they should be careful of. If you are banking their hopes on the major blunders of the current NDC party, then that strategy for me is unwise. And I'll call it baseless optimism, because the fact of the matter is that those blunders of the NDC must be so sordid and probably more life-threatening than the ones that they choreographed, the precautions they choreographed under the last 4 years, to be able to convince or sway Ghanaians to vote for them. I hope that's not the strategy. Otherwise, the other thing that they can do is also tell lies. But the Ghanaian is very much sophisticated now. So they should make sure they are telling their story, well researched, well balanced, spoken in true diplomatic language, convince people. So we think that, look, if we do, NDC has done this, but we think if we get it this way, this will be better. And you see, when they do that, then they begin to tell a story that they are no longer the scarier alternative. And I think that advice must be taken hook, line, and sinker across the entire party.
Franklin, is it going to matter who is selected by Dr. Bawumia as his vice presidential candidate?
All is that. Every bit of it. You know, right now, Bawumia is like a wounded lion. As we speak, he's He must be laser focused. He should not joke with whoever becomes his running mate at all, because that is also part of the story. If he does choose someone who just talks by heart, he should kiss the presidency goodbye. In fact, from now onwards, they should be studying the NDC. Don't you see how John relates? Don't you see how John calls you? Oh, come, let's discuss things. Bawumia will do that, but that's Bawumia is a nice guy. But whoever he chooses, anybody from the messenger to the highest order, as in the vice presidency, there must be people who must. I'm not saying they should be meek and look stupid. No, that's what I'm saying. They must be convincing. They must be. They must understand the room, which is the Ghanaian populace that we're dealing with right now. If you say something silly, well, people come after you. These days, people are so sophisticated that you can't come and tell lies. Some of the lies they were telling were just childish. Now, the communicators must be reined in from the communicator to the vice presidency. There must be people who must be schooled in the art of good speaking, good communication, and then be convincing that, look, they are no longer the party that looks on for everybody to just decide to loot. Yes, sir. We can have that. It's not a party that no longer goes around, have members to sort people by heart. You cannot do that. So, Charlie, times have changed.
All right, Franklin, thank you very, very much for joining us this morning. We are grateful. Franklin Cudjoe is president of Imani Africa.